Welcome. It's great to see everyone here today. Again, I am Michael Kern. I'm from Kern Legal Service. I'm the president, and I'm also the president of CALSPro. I'm a second generation processor. My father's company started in 1961, and from 1961 until the early 80s, when I came into the business in late 1986, I graduated high school a little early ahead of my rest of my classmates. And because my father was one of these overachievers and decided that I should take 7 classes so I can hurry up and get in the attorney service business. So therefore, in the end of 12th grade, I finished 12th grade halfway through, and I was able to take a year of economics all in the first semester and get out of high school early and graduate with my class later that June. I've technically been in this business ever since my entire life. Since I was a kid growing up, used to file papers and so forth throughout the courthouse for many years. And one of my things that my father had taught me for many years is that you had to start at the bottom. Just because you're the boss's son doesn't mean that you automatically are the president today. You have to work your way up like everyone else. You got to earn the respect of your peers, and you move your way up the ladder. And I had a lot of people along the way that resented it as I was going up in the industry and growing up in our profession and saying, hey, you know, why do I need to listen to you? Why should I take advice from you? What do you know? And so it took many years to gradually get into that thing. So my father made me start off, you know, doing a route, and then I learned how to serve papers, and he would take me out serving and show me the proper way to do it, and don't enter someone's house. You know, no matter if it's a sweet old lady at the front door, whatever you do, don't go in the house. Of course, you know, we don't listen. Got to try it once in a while, and then before you know it, you're running out of the house to your car. So that was a little catching one time with me. I've had to work many years as I gain respect of my peers to gain the respect of them, that I am what I am, and I'm the real thing, and I'm not trying to take over or push them aside. We're a team. We work together. Let's grow together. And I learned that from my father. Oh, this is a nice surprise. As you can see there, I have a lot more hair there than I do now. This is actually my wedding photo. I'm married to my wife for 22 years. And my wife currently is my business partner. My father, who started the company, had passed away in the early part of 2001, and I was already running day-to-day operations pretty much at that point. So my wife was already working for us after working at a medical facility for many years, decided come on board, and she's been my life partner all the way through till today. And our company keeps growing. Every year we keep trying to add new advancements in it. And sometimes it's a power struggle. You know, the wife wants this, the husband wants that, I'm the boss, you're not, don't tell me. So I've learned that, you know, I don't try to undermine her even if we don't agree. And you'll notice as you come in a mom and pop operation and you start to grow as an industry or as a profession or as a company as a whole, that you don't want to alienate your family. So I've had a lot of family members over the years that have worked with our company. I've had my sister, my mother-in-law, friends, best friends, friends of friends. There's all kinds of snafus with all different kinds of ways I can explain all that, how it happens. And as I get bigger and the company grows, friends disappear, and I've tried to curb certain things that I don't do anymore. Because, you know, it causes more problems. It's a lot harder to let go of a friend or someone that you're close to or you have a personal tie to, and they take advantage of you to a certain extent. As you'll find out in life that people take advantage of you or your good nature, that you're there for them, and then they go by the wayside. So I've tried now to hire any family members whatsoever as my life goes on. Currently, my wife works for me, with me, and my yeah, and my mother-in-law who takes care of accounts payable on a daily basis. So one thing I can tell you: never undermine your family members in front of others, because what others see, they lose respect for you. Therefore, they're saying, do I want to stay with this company for a long term? Do I really want to be a part of this company? All they do is fight, you know. So I learned, hey, if I have a different opinion, I pull her aside, I wait, I have a discussion. Listen, I don't think we should have done it this way. She goes, but I'll tell you why we did it. Okay, maybe you're right. and then we move on, and we try to learn from it. Keeping the family-owned feel. Well, this is one of the things that I think that we have done over the years. We try to treat all our clients like they're the most important client. And it doesn't really matter whether they really are or not. The point is, the client has to be comfortable with you doing business with you. And you'll get some people, and I'm sure you've had telemarketers, or you call up AT&T, or you call a particular phone company. It seems like they're trying to go through the motions. It's not that important to them. Did I solve all your questions? Great. Let me get you off the phone. Adam had relayed that earlier, telling how you want to get to know the client. Everything we can help, I let them know what's going on, how are they doing, how's the family, that kind of stuff. You try to be social to see that there's a personal interaction with them on a daily basis. I find that works out very well. Communication. This is the number one thing we stress to our employees. You have to communicate, good or bad. Even if we did something wrong, you need to communicate with the employee. You got to let them know what we're doing, what kind of changes we're going to make in the future so it doesn't happen again, and so that we can make sure we have their trust at all times. I can't stress that enough. I'll probably say that's the number one thing that people should focus on in their business. Meetings. We try to have weekly meetings and discussions of things that are going on, things that are changing. What should we do? Should we move this around? I would suggest that is very key, even if it's with family, even if it's a mom and pop. Make sure, the hustle and bustle of your day, you're having to do things, one's serving, one's answering the phone, dealing with their stuff, and you don't get this downtime to have a discussion at 10 o'clock at night to say what took place. So you got to make time sometime during a week and say, hey, listen, these are the changes we got to make. This is what things we're going to put in place and where we're going to go with it. Job duties. Very important as you grow your company and you start to market and do a lot of things, you're going to have job duties. Today's employees want to put everything into a particular box. You'll have employees that you'll hire that they'll say that my job title says I do A, B, C, and D. Then there's other people, it doesn't matter what their job title is, they'll do all that and whatever else is available that you want done because they know they're getting paid a wage, either salary or whatever they're getting paid by the hour to do a job. And then there's other people that are not going to work with that same work ethic. They're clock watchers. You got to make sure that you're holding your people accountable. So we make sure that this is your job duty, this is what your job duty entails, and what we expect out of you. And yet, you want to be respectful. So I try to treat people with respect. I try to make sure that you understand, is there anything that I can answer for you? I try to draw it out of them. What can I do to make things better for you? Sometimes you don't want to get personal with people, but people have problems just like you do. They got things going on in their daily lives that are affecting their psyche of what's going on. So I try to get a little personal. Hey, is there anything I can do to help you? Because I want you to be focused when you come to work. So I try to show as a businessman and a father that, hey, I care about you. I care about what your issues are. What can we do to make it better? Is there something we can help you with? Do you need some time off to work this out? Those are the kind of things that you got to show. Otherwise, the company feels like they'll think that the company doesn't care about you. And there is companies that don't care about the employee. They think it's an A and B relationship. Your job is you get paid, you come to work, do the job. I don't believe that that's the way it should be. I believe whether you're a family or a big corporation, your job is to communicate with your employees, make sure that they're on the same page as you, and that you actually care about their needs and wants as well as I hope that they care about what you have to achieve on your end. What should I have done differently? Well, early on, when I started taking over certain things, I didn't make people accountable for what their job was. I was friends with this person, or I really like this person. This person does about 75% good, but 25% bad. What do I do with this person? Does so many good things, and then they do some bad things. And this job is a repetitious job for the most part on certain things. We don't realize it's repetitious because we're doing so many things. We don't realize that we're doing it day and day the same thing. You get up, you get dressed, you map out your papers, you're going to go serve them, you come back, you write a report, you put it in the computer, you do a proof, and then you send it back. It's a repetition job. And so one thing that we worked on, especially really the last couple years really heavily, we try to make sure we hold people accountable. Listen, We're going to have a discussion with you. This is what we expect. Then we have a review. You're still not doing it. If I don't see an improvement, you're on probation. We're going to have to let you go. Much as we like you, it has nothing personal. You know, a lot of people believe that when you hire people, that you're there to provide a job for them. No, that is not my belief. My belief is that I'm hiring them because they're there to make the corporation or the company a profit. If they can't make me a profit or I can't make money from their services that they're rendering, then I don't need them. So that's the way you have to treat it, but you have to be respectful about it. As long as they understand what your terms and your guidelines is, that's what you follow. I did not do this early on. Here's another thing that I didn't do, and I think I missed a step 15, 18 years ago with my father. I had many ideals, especially when the internet was coming alive. And for the time, we had a chance to get the domain Kern.com, for example. And my father at the time thought that that was a passing fad. And that's the way he believed. I regret to this day that I didn't take it. I could have had the domain, and by the time I really decided, hey, this is not a passing fad like he thought it was, the domain's gone, and now it's a radio station in California that has the domain. So that was just one ideal. Or I said, let's start doing things more by fax, as fax was becoming popular. You know, some people, they're just stuck in their ways, and that's fine. But I think if I could have showed more of the benefits and just saying, this is the right way, you're wrong, instead of outlining it, here, let me show you the benefits and why and how we can make money at this, I think we would have been better off. Hire the best person for the job. This goes back to hiring friends. Instead of hiring someone that you don't know and really is the best person, you need another person, you hire a friend that you know and doesn't turn out to be very well, and you keep them longer than you should. So I've gotten to a point that I'm going to hire the best person for the job that I want done. And sometimes the best person for the job costs you more money. There's an old saying, you get what you pay for. You know, and I use this analogy on a lot of different things, especially when I get a new client. And they say, well, what do you compare it against my competitor? Well, what do you have? Okay, and why are you looking at me to switch? Well, they don't provide me this, they don't provide me that. I said, I go on the sense or the pretense of myself that there's different cuts of steak. You got the top sirloin, and then he goes up in the different grades all the way up to tenderloin. I said, as far as I'm concerned, I consider myself the tenderloin a legal support. Now, whether that's a fact or not, that's an opinion. But I try to tell people that's what I believe I am. And I want to be given a chance that I can show you that I am that individual. So I try to show that we hire the best people for the job, and we don't try to skimp on a price. At the same time, we're providing you a benefit that these people know what they're doing, they got the answers, they're going to give you what you want, and I pay my people good because, you know, believe it or not, going through staff on a daily basis or a weekly basis or monthly basis costs you a lot more money than paying the person a little extra money and knowing I can walk away from my office to go do something. So hire the best person for the job. Invest in your people. There was a quote I just saw recently on LinkedIn last week when I was at another conference where they said, why should we invest in our people? They may leave. Well, guess what? What if you don't invest in your people and they don't leave? Then what? So you're in a quandary. You can't go on the pretenses that someone's going to leave. I try to put out the best product forward. I try to teach them the things that I need them done and what my rules and regulations and what our company agenda is going forward. So you're going to make sure that you invest in your people, because if you want to put out a superior product, you got to put time into them. Another good picture. Work-life balance. This happens to be my 3 children with me in a photo taken. This was about a month ago. By the way, this PowerPoint was all put together by Trent Carlisle, Serve Now. And he got this off Facebook. So anyways, this is several weeks ago with my children out in the desert. So I empower my staff so that I can go and do these things. I pay the people the money that needs to be paid, and I give them the tools so that I may walk away from my office for 2 days or come to the Colorado Convention. So my office is running the office of day-to-day operations, taking care of the things that need to be handled so that I can focus on other things like building my business, marketing, networking, trying to go get more accounts, try to build relationships. Because let me tell you right now, you guys as a business owners or as individual owners or process servers, you're your best salesperson. So what better person to have than me going out there and marketing myself? So Empower your employees. Give them the tools. Find out what they need. Give them the things that they need so that you can have downtime to yourself. Time for yourself is very important. You cannot work 12, 15 hours a day, year after year after year. In the 90s, I was working 12 to 15-hour days every day for years. And then I started having children, and of course, then, you know, family comes first with me. So now, how do I curb my day? Well, how do I rearrange my schedule so I can spend more time with my family? This is very important, work balance. I can't stress that another thing that's very important in your life. You gotta put your family first because, you know, it's not all about work and no play. Work is important and money does make the world go round, but your family is your family. So I can tell you that right now. Make sure that you find a way to put your family first and have an equal balance of things. Embracing technology, my favorite thing. I'm a big proponent of technology, and some of my constituents out of different states are not. Things are working fine. Let's not change the status quo. I am not. I believe technology is going to revolutionize the industry more and more as the years go on. It already has an impact. Some people are embracing it. Some people don't. To me, I think the people that don't, they're not going to be around years from now. We're already seeing a downsizing on the legal support end right now, currently, in many different states. You'll see in process servers no longer serving, regulations are coming out. They don't embrace the technology, they don't have the services to embrace the technology or have a way to the forethought to be able to concept it. I'm starting to see a lot of that going on. So e-filing is a big thing that's starting to become in California, for example. And so when we start going into this realm and we start seeing that this is starting to become an impact, I said, well, we're either going to be a part of it or we're going to have to sell our company. What's your two choices? So are we a company that we're ready for retirement and a sellout, or do we want to embrace this, put the necessary resources to go forward and be a vital part of the profession? Well, we decided we start putting resources in it. I try to find other ways to make sure that I stay relevant going forward. One of the things that people like, and we do a lot of it, and a lot of the bigger companies do it, but the smaller companies can do all the same things. Online ordering, make it accessible that you can set up a system. It doesn't really cost as much as people think it is to set up an online ordering system. A lot of the systems too, a lot of the software designer and companies, process-serving softwares out there, you can have it that you can have it online, that it goes into your system, it imports right in. You don't have to key anything in, it's already there for you. Email notification, you send a paper, you click a button, you bill it, it sends them an email, let them know, this has been completed, your service is on the way. Some of the softwares have it that when you do a proof of service, you can either have electronic signature or you sign it, you scan it, you attach it to the job, and it sends it to them electronically. Tracking and status. I have, for my particular company, we have online tracking and status, for example. So a client has a username and password, they go on our thing, they can look at their account, see what's done. If you're doing a good job of statusing automatically and you're keeping the client informed, they won't use the online tracking and status as much because you're already doing the work for them. But then you got the ones that, they had the paper out 2 days on a routine and what's going on in it. I don't know why you haven't served it yet. So it happens. And so, but it's there for the clients should they. The point is that I have it available for the client to meet the needs of the client. And these are things that you can do relatively inexpensive to enhance your company's profile of where you're going, and then you publicize it. You come in and say, by the way, did you know we offer e-filing? Did you know we offer online ordering and tracking? You don't have to have us come in. You don't have to fax. You can go right to our website. You can upload your documents. Boom, it's there, and it's going to give you a tracking number. And if you want to follow it, I gave you a password. That just makes you that you're more important than your competitor. And at the same time, you're becoming competitive. Getting involved in your industry. Another great picture. These happens to be the past president, Chad Barger, Cliff Jacobs, and then myself. This was in Reno. We're very close. They're all board members of CALSPro, and we do a lot of things in tandem. They're all competitors. One's in one county, the other one works for another big company in Northern California, and then there's me down in South. So, you can be friends with your competitors and still spend time and still bounce ideas without inflicting any issue or pain or getting any confidentiality of information that you're trying to do on your end without your competitor knowing what you're doing. So I tell people, get involved. Join your local state association. I'll see a lot of people that join the national association or join certain things, but they're not a part of their own state association. That's where they're affected at. They'll join the national, which is fine, but they should also join their local. Because right here in your state, whatever state you're from, if there's a local chapter there, that's the one you should be on, because they're the ones that are going to affect change in your state. So I would tell you that one of the key components. I've been on CALSPro board for more than 15 years in some kind of capacity. I started up from the ground up by some of my mentors that are still in this industry to this day, where we started as an area governor, worked my way up to a committee, worked my way up to a board member, worked my way up to secretary treasurer, vice president, president. You work your way, you learn all the steps as you go through, and you see how things are run as an organization. So I take a lot of the building blocks that I got from the association, believe it or not, and I apply it to my own business. How do we run CALSPro? How do we do things here? Well, why can't I take some of these concepts and add it to our own business? So everything correlates with each other, because it basically, even though the association is a nonprofit association, it is a business to a certain extent. It's run like a business. So you can take bits and pieces what you learn from your state association and apply it to your own business on a daily basis. Offering new services, the pros and cons. The cost factor, obviously. Any new service you're going to offer, there's going to be a cost usually, most of the time. For example, about 2 years ago, California let go of all the court reporters and made it that each attorney had to hire their own court reporter. The court system was no longer going to provide court reporters. So the attorneys had to hire individual court reporters. So we came up with the concept, and I had friends that were court reporters and said, hey, let's start a new division. Let's offer a new service. How much is it going to cost me to get this happen? What kind of software am I going to need? What is the layout? How much is a profit margin could I make from this? Is it a beneficial? Am I outside my realm? I don't really know much about court reporting. It's just a person sitting in front of a keyboard tapping away shorthand. But there's a lot to it. There's deposition, there's trials, there's copies, there's certifications, there's all kinds of things. So luckily the person that I partnered up with that part of that division was a court reporter for 25 years. And he says, Mike, I know all the front end, you know the back end, you know the technology, you know how to set up all the networks, you know how to have all the clients load up online requests, how we can send the transcripts by e-transcript, which we have software called e-transcript. The client gets it digitized to them, they can see it, they can highlight, but they can't print it. And if they want the printed copy, they get it binded, it gets sent to them. And they get charged the page count based on how many pages it is. And so if you have 9 defendants in a case and everybody wants a copy, everybody pays the rate. It's become a very profitable end for us. It's just been another thing that I didn't expect to go into, but I didn't keep myself closed-minded and say, well, we only do process and court filing. No. If it makes sense, let's do it. Let's try it. And so for us, it's been a very good potential revenue stream. Now, potential loss depends on what kind of marketing thing and what kind of services you're going to offer that you could fail at it. You could offer something and it could just totally barrel down the road. I mean, I've seen things where we offer new services, or you say, do this, and you offer it at let's say, your half rate. You didn't expect people to do it, and then they come over in gaping bounds, and it costs you more money than you expected, and now all of a sudden you're at a loss. So you got to make sure you're going to price point your stuff that you're not taking a loss. You might be making a very minimal margin to try out a new service, that you're offering some kind of benefit for a period of time. But some people don't cross all the T's and I's. You have to make sure at the bottom of whatever you're advertising that it's either for this period of time. Otherwise, you put that on the flyer, they might 5 years from now, hey, by the way, I want that discount. You didn't say that it expires at a certain time, and of course you're going to honor it. So, at least I would hope so. Embracing online marketing. I am a big proponent of social media. As far as I'm concerned, I'm next to the tippy top when it comes to social media. Anybody that follows me knows that I'm really big on social media. I live on social media. I probably spend a good 2 hours a day on social media between Twitter, Facebook. I post all kinds of things that are going across the country that are pertinent to our associations as well as the industry as a whole, talking about things that are affecting us across the country or the world. People allowing service by email in Virginia or something in Australia or whatever. I post it out there. I try to get the data out there that, you know, people are reading this. They say, how is this going to affect us? Google Places and Directory, I think Adam mentioned it before, you need to be on Google Places. You need to have it where it's A through G. You need to be found. Otherwise, no one knows you're there. Directories. You should always be in all the directories you can be. There's a lot of free directories, a lot of paralegal directories you can advertise on. It doesn't cost them. It's free listings. You should subscribe to those things. Website, the pinnacle of our business. If you do a lot of work and you want to get exposure, your website has to be maximized to the top. You got to make sure that it's built for SEO, which is search engine optimization, that you're putting out the best product forward, that it's easy to use, as Adam had previously said. You know, I'm a big thing of it. In fact, I have 20 websites somewhere in the neighborhood. I have keyword domains. I have some really big names for my state that when someone looks up a Los Angeles processor, I will rank 1 or 2 right there, because that's my domain, losangelesprocessor.com. That's one of my domains. So the domain name is important, especially if it's something popular. And of course, you know, domains could cost thousands of dollars depending on what the domain is. So it's very important that you have the right thing. And it's also important that it matches your website. Marketing, SEO, PPC. There's 2 rules of factor. SEO, search engine optimization, is very important. You want to make sure necessarily that you don't want to necessarily have paid advertisements, but what you want to do is you want to organically rank. So a lot of people don't understand that there is a difference. Anybody can pay to be number 1, but that costs thousands of dollars. The object is to put content out there so that you rank organically, so the search engines say, hey, wait, this company is putting out content that's relevant, people are blogging about it, people are rereading it, people are reposting it, and they're liking it or whatever, and now Google thinks that this is important. Let's move this thing up the chart. I have some of my articles that rank number 1 on a particular thing, but in this it doesn't come up. It comes up my website, but it's a link that'll say, you know, www.mysite/service in Virginia or something. It'll have some that'll be relevant to e-service or something. So you want to have content out there that makes it that your site is, everything's linking back to your site, that is building, that making it you're relevant, that you're important. I'm the authority. I want you to visit my site. I want the keywords, so that way I rank higher than my competitor. Blogging, content marketing. I blog on an average every other day, on an average. I also have a ghostwriter. I write stuff, the ghostwriter writes stuff, I tell them what I want to write about. I had a piece recently that I wrote, the benefits of using a registered process server. That correlates and ties into my profession, what I do. It ties into the services that I offer. You know, why should you hire a registered process server versus hiring a friend to go do it, or the sheriff? Why you should hire me? And I outline the benefits and why. We know the rules, we know the regulations, we know how to properly affect service. We serve longer hours than the sheriff does. We try on weekends, we try on holidays, and so forth. So those are the kind of content pieces I put out, so that I make sure that I have a ranking, and then they see it, it ties it, it ranks me higher, and I get the benefit of it. Email signature. This is a sample of my current email signature. And as you can see, I don't have an address of my address because I have multiple addresses throughout California. But I'll see time and time again, and I don't know if you guys see this, but you put on naps. Let's say you have something in Wisconsin, and I don't have a paper in Wisconsin very often, but let's just say I do. And I don't know who I want to use, so I'll put it out on a blog post. I'll get it back from 2752 XYZ at Yahoo, and some guy named Tom will say $45 and I'll return it. I don't know who he is. What happens is I hit the word delete. I don't know who you are, and I'm not going to sit here and spend the time to send it back. Who are you? What is your address? What is your phone number? How would I contact you? If you're going to be professional, you got to act professional. So this is a prime example. And what I'm a person, I'm always about marketing. I'm a big marketing kind of guy. So I have the main things of who I am, phone numbers, emails, websites. You can contact us on Facebook and Twitter. I also promote things that I'm offering. Hey, did you know that we recently launched e-filing? Connect with us, hit the link, and it takes you right to our e-filing page so that you can sign up. And then I'm still tying in my California roots, saying I'm your California connection, and here's all the services that I provide. That way, you know, sometimes your client doesn't know that you do those services. I can't tell you how many times we get new secretaries in the law office. Oh, you do process serving. Yeah, you've been giving it to me for about 10 years. And I noticed that it dropped 6 weeks ago. Oh, that's when I started work here. Right, that's why I'm calling you, let you know. By the way, I do the process serving. I've been, oh, okay, I'll send it to you. So you kind of constantly educate your staff, and you got to constantly educate your clients. You got to keep track of your margins. If you know you're making $500 from a client on an average, and all of a sudden it drops down to 50, something's wrong. Start calling, find out what's changed. Most of the time you'll find out it's one of two things. Either you did something wrong, or two, they had a change of staff, and the staff doesn't have any idea what a legal support company is. Another thing, years ago, companies were not called really legal support. They were either called a process serving company, or you were an attorney service. I'm starting to see more and more of the word attorney service go by the wayside. Everybody is a legal support, or they say legal service company. They don't use the word attorney service anymore because we're so much more than we do work for attorneys. I do work for insurance companies. I do work for doctors. I do work for the private sector. It doesn't matter who I'm, auto mechanic shop. It doesn't have to be an attorney. So we, for many years, were called Kern Attorney Service. And then we changed it and said, no, I just don't want to. We would get phone calls. I need a lawyer. So I decided I'm not going to have the name attorney in my name of my company, so we changed it to legal, which more encompasses of all the things we do. So here's an example of things that you guys should do. Don't necessarily have to be exactly that, but you should have things that are given information. Now, if you have a one branch office, I would include my address. But since I have multiple, I don't want it segregated to one location for myself, for who I reply to. Client rewards. This is a big thing. This could get you more business. So if you have a client that's been consecutively doing things with you and you're getting good work from them, offer them early pay rewards. If I have a big client and I know I'm doing $10,000 a month, but you know they're paying me 45 days out, I want to find ways that I can get that $10,000 quicker so I can pay my overhead and my staff and the things that I got to take care of. So you offer them, hey, if you pay me net 10 days or net 15 days, I'll give you a 3% cut off the top. Because think about it, if the money runs out more than 45 days, it's costing you more than that 3%. And meanwhile, I don't have the stress, and I have the income coming in to take care of the business that has to be handled. Volume-based. A lot of people, my father for one, many years believed the price was the price. I don't care if it was one or if it was 2,100. The price was the price. Unfortunately, times have changed. The more volume you got, the more the client can save, the more they can pass it down to the savings. So offer volume-based clients. And what I mean by volume, some people think volume is 5 serves a month. I've had people go, oh, we have volume. Okay, how many you have? 5. No, that's not what we consider volume. Volume is an opinion. People depend on what determine, or they make their own determination what they think a volume is. Some people think 50 a month is volume. Some think 100. Some think 500. It all depends on what you think is volume. But, you know, volume-based will get you accounts. You can go in and say, hey, they have 100 serves. What can I do? Okay, I normally charge X dollars. I'll reduce it. I'll take a 15% deduction to get it all. And for that price, you have to pay me net 10 days. I have clients like that. They want a volume-based pricing. I give it to them. And I have it in contract that for you to get that volume price, you have to pay me by a certain date. If you don't get the volume price. It's the regular price. So, you know, if you're giving someone at a major discount, you want to make sure that now you give them the volume price. Now I'm going to pay you at 60 days. No, that defeats the purpose. So you gotta correlate both and tie them both in together. Specials. We offer different specials. So let's say month of May. If you'd ever use this for skip tracing, use this for skip tracing, and I charge, let's say it's $100. But for the month of May, anybody who uses a skip trace, we're only going to charge you $75. You may get clients that use you already for the skip traces, so you're giving a discount. But you also may get clients that didn't even know you did skip tracing, and now you're injecting the flyer into them, saying, "Here, I got something I'm giving you, and at the same time, I want you to try me out." I've had some people I've seen that they'll do things at 50% of the cost. You know, how much does it really cost me to do a skip trace? How much money is involved? What can I do? It's benefited us. It helps you grow. Sometimes you got to spend money to make money. That's what people don't understand. They go, I don't have the money. You have to find a way to spend the money. It's the only way you're going to, it's what you're spending your money on is what you have to determine. Gift cards. We have a gift card program. For example, we have clients, one different program we have, that for every $1,000 they spend with us, we give them a $50 gift card. But to get the $50 gift card, I have to be paid net 15 days from billing. So you get a statement on first, you have 15 days. If I get that money by the 15th day, you get $50 gift cards for every 1,000 you did. Send it to them. I got people that have these huge opportunities when we got this big account, and I got this account that I'm talking about based on those gift cards. And they're using those gift cards to give them to rewards to their employees. So now everybody's jockeying for position at this company to give me as much work and showing that they're able to put out work and so they can get the gift cards. So it's got a two-factor. One, I'm getting more work. Two, everybody's trying to get the numbers in, so they say this person's putting out 100 orders versus this one putting out 10. Hey, I put out 100 orders. I should get more gift cards. So now it's become a real big thing in some of these firms where now they turn around and say, hey, can you break up those $50 gift cards in like $25 increment cards? Because we want to be able to spread them around a little easier. Okay, so we do that. And it's just all a way to engage the client into your services to say, hey man, they're giving me something. You know, where you'll get a competitor coming out, we're very happy with our company, they do a great job, and we get all kinds of rewards. So, you know, we're good right where we are. And it's constantly, you're trying to recertify that you're it. I don't want you looking anywhere else, I'm it. Brochures, price lists, and flyers. You'll be amazed at how many people don't have a price list. I'll say, what's your price? Oh, I'll have to draw something up. Okay. Price list, flyers, I have a brochure, I have about a 20-page brochure that covers everything that we possibly do, and I also have a one-page price list. Someone says, hey, I want your process prices. I have a quick sheet that talks about court filing, process serving, court record research, and e-filing. I have one sheet that covers it all colorful, all highlighted, it's all laid out real nice. This is some of the marketing things. I think you have several of them on your thing. This is not one you mass mail, but you could. I made this so that I can go to conventions or legal support secretaries meetings and so forth, or guest speaking events, and I hand them out. Because you'll notice that you get a one-page flyer, people crumble it up, it gets on it. Where I got this hard copy and said, this is a good postcard. It's a little hard to throw away, they can keep it on their desk, it's hard, it's got all the things, it stands out, it doesn't look like your standard flyer, it pops. You know, you're gonna put out the product, you wanna put out a really good product. And then I market both sides of the card. I say, okay, one side I do this, one side I do that. I tell them where I'm going to charge you. So we have this thing called major pricing that works for me well. So some of my competitors, well, they'll say that it's, let's say, $50 in that particular city, but now it's going to leave the county that they're in. Let's say it's Los Angeles, and now we're going to send it to Sacramento. They'll charge a higher rate, and they'll say, oh, that's out of county. We'll have to add $35. One is because they have to pay higher if they don't have an individual processor, or they have to hire an affiliate. And two, because the law firm thinks that they need to pay higher costs. Well, in most cases, some cases it does apply. But because I have based on volume, I have multiple offices, we do metro pricing. So in these counties here, within a 35-mile radius, I'll do it for a fixed rate. And this has served us very well. And these are not necessarily gimmicks. These are just more that you're trying to be competitive. I'm not displaying any price on here. I don't tell you what I charge. I make the client call me to inquire. If you put all your prices, they don't need to call you. You want to make it that they make it an opportunity that you're trying to draw them in. I like the card. You had some good components here. I want to use you. Let me get some more information about it than what they're giving me. Or maybe I can get some pricing from you. So here's an example. Exhibits and sponsors, clients' events. We go to several legal secretaries' events. We go to process serving events. We'll go to things that I can't believe we go to at times. Sometimes you just got to try things out of the box. I was invited to go to the Italian Attorneys Bar Association. They have their own separate one. I got invited by another client, says, hey, I think you can make impact. You know, no one ever goes these things. I got several clients out of it. First night. I'm still getting stuff from it from 4 months ago. So, and you always try to do a little guest speaking, talk about your services, what you could do for them, and if they have any other needs, feel free to contact you. So make sure you try to promote yourself. You know, you got to go to certain things. the internet is only one tool. You're going to have to put you in front of right directly in front of the people. You're going to have to go to legal secretaries. Those are the people that really hire you. You know, you go to an attorney event, a state bar event, for example. Most of the attorneys, they come by for their education. They come by. Some of them are your clients. Some of them are not. Hey, yeah, okay, I'll take your information. I'll give it to my secretary. But she didn't get to meet you. And so therefore, when he takes it, he goes, she looks at it. She says, okay, got a couple tchotchkes. I got these free stuff. But, you know, you didn't really get to really put your best foot forward by meeting her because you met the attorney who was just taking the stuff and running. So my personal favorite is to go to legal secretaries. I would find out what kind of legal, like next month I'm going to attend on behalf of CALSPro, I'm going to attend the Legal Secretaries Inc. in California. And we're going to try to drum up membership and try to get them as a supporting member of the association, because we have a supporting member category, trying to draw the legal secretaries because we want the legal secretaries in California to use the California members. And so that's our stance on what we're doing. So we're trying to market them, hey, we're here. Everybody that's in the association is professional. They know the rules. They're learning the stuff. Use our people and our directory. So that's one of our marketing things. Make sure you have yourself a display. Make sure you get a little promotional stuff. There's things you can do that are very minute that don't cost you a lot of money, but people will remember you. Don't fear competition. There's a lot of people that fear their competition. I have never been one. Whether I'm a small company, a medium company, or a gigantic company. Don't be afraid to be friends with. I am friends with some of the biggest companies in this state. And I spend time with several of them. I call up from them. Hey, what do you do about this? How do you do this independent contractor issue? How would you handle this? You know, you can learn from other people's in the industry. You don't have to say, oh, they're my competitor, I can't talk to them. No, there's people that believe that, but I don't. I'm telling you, some of your key things in life in the attorney service or legal support business you're going to learn is from your competition. And if you have a good relationship with them on a cordial basis, they'll discuss the things that have nothing to do with proprietary. This is just how they run it. Hey, this is how we handle our staff for this kind of situation, or how we handle process servers that don't do this. You know, talk to them. When I do marketing, I offer like services. What is my competition doing? I search the net. What are they doing? What are they not doing? What can I do better? What can I offer that they don't have? These are the kind of things you need to start researching. Unfortunately, it does take time. It's not something you can say, I'm going to spend 5 minutes, I'm going to have the golden ball here, I'm going to get the answer, and we're good. It doesn't work that way. So you got to see what kind of like services. What is your competition doing? What are they charging? What are they offering for those fees? Are you a better price point? Are you offering a better service for the price? Offer services that they don't. Like I did court reporting. I don't know if there's any other attorneys, legal support or attorney service in California that's offering strictly court reporting on top of all the other stuff. I'm one of the first, I think. Offer better response time and customer service. You know, there's a lot of things that's saying, hey, I'll get a call about my competitor. Hey, oh my God, I gave them a paper 3 weeks ago. I haven't heard from them. I just don't know. I just don't know nothing. Or sometimes they'll call my competitor and tell me my competitor is terrible and they want you to agree, which I will never agree with that. I'll say, well, how long is the company, who are you dealing with? They'll say, and I'll say, well, they've been around for 30 years. They must be doing something right. What kind of problem did you have? And sometimes the clients get annoyed when you ask them that, a potential new client. Why do you want to know that? Well, I want to know that before we become engaged here and you want us to move forward and provide you the legal support end of it, I want to make sure we're not going to have the same problems. Maybe the problems you're having isn't really legal support problem. Maybe it's with the courts. So I had one just recently where they had their attorney service for 10 years. They want to switch. They're just totally unhappy with them. And I said, well, what's the problem? They said, well, it takes them 3 weeks to get me a default and 6 weeks for a dismissal. I go, that has nothing to do with the legal support company. That has to do with the court. We pick it up from them, we get it received in by them on stuff that we can hand file, we hand file. The stuff we have to drop, we drop. We get it received in, we bring you back proof that it was delivery. After I scan in our main frame, I send you back the original showing that the court got possession of it. We're in the courts every day, we check the baskets, we check the buckets and so forth, and when the court's done with it, we will let you know and we'll get it back to you. But as to pressing the court and saying, gee, Judge, why didn't you have this faster? Or why didn't you get this dismissal because Susie wants it? It doesn't matter. So I said, if that's the reason you're firing them or you want to let them go, that's not a good reason because I'm going to try to tell you, you're going to have the same problem hiring my company. because I have no control. Now, if the problem is that they don't get back to your response on status on services, or they don't get the people served properly, or they do bad serves, or they don't give me response time, or I don't get any notification, that's something totally different. That's something within their control. So I try to explain that to the customer. And they said, well, this one just recently said, I never heard of that perspective. I said, well, you know, why would I want to take on the account and then have all the problems and you said you could do this? No. I don't want to promise, I don't want to overpromise and underachieve. I want to promise exactly what I said I could do, nothing more. Find acquisition opportunities. Okay, companies that offer the same services. So for example, for acquisition, I just recently purchased another legal support company in another county that I was not in. And they had been around for 35 years, give or take, somewhere around there. And the problem with it is because they were a mom and pop and they did a decent amount of business and they were pretty much few of them only in that area, they did not embrace technology, they didn't have the technology, and at the same time they were at a stage that, hey, we're just tired of this, it's time for us to get out. Well, I have all the components already. It was a good fit, went into them and said, hey, we can do this. They wanted to get out, it worked, and we took over that particular company. And now I'm able to expand on that company. And I'm able to go into these firms and I'm saying, hey, you're used to only giving us this. By the way, we do skip tracing, we do investigation, we do mobile copy work, we do court reporting, we do e-filing. We do all the things the other company didn't do. Not only did nothing change, you're getting better service and you're getting direct communication. You're getting email notification. You have online tracking. So all of a sudden these clients, and we went and met with all the clients that we saw on a daily basis, and they're thrilled. And we just keep promoting that. And then we're trying to reach out to clients that we don't have that may use one of my competitors. Hey, by the way, are you happy with your current provider? If not, here, give us a call, give us a try. You know, you got to figure out companies that are in your area that you want service like you offer. You know, you don't have to just necessarily have lawyers and so forth. You can go reach out to medical providers. You can reach out to car dealerships. We have car dealerships. We reach out, send some kind of flyer, and we serve tons of small claims for them. You don't have to necessarily keep everything into a certain section that you say, oh, I'm only going to do work for attorneys, or I'm only going to do work for insurance companies. You know, there's other industries that you can do work for and make money from. So you got to think about things like that. Companies to take to the next level. Well, for example, like I just mentioned about the company, and I believe I'm taking it to the next level. I'm providing things that the company didn't have, and now those clients are now getting the benefit of my resources to move it forward. So if you know you have these kind of benefits to offer, and you got a company that has not moved forward with technology, and you say, hey, this is an opportunity, I can get this for a reasonable price. They have the client base, they already have the customers for a long time. On top of it, I can add additional benefits and services that they didn't already provide, that they might be even farming it out. Maybe they're hiring a private investigator on the side, or they're hiring a different company to do e-filing, or they're hiring someone to do mobile copy work. These are all now, they don't have to, you can market and say, I'm a one-stop shop, you can come just to me. I'm your best choice. Finding the right partners. For example, e-filing, to build our own portal would cost us tens of thousands of dollars. So we had partnered with a particular company in California that was able to build us a front end that would work off of our website to go through their back end, but everything looks like it's our company. It's using their technology with our stuff in the front. And so you got to partner with the right things. Sometimes you're partnering with the right things, or you're getting the right applications, should we say. I do this all the time. I try to find things that are going to better our company. How do I look outside to achieve the goals of the company going forward? Marketing, my number one thing. I do lots of marketing. You could spend hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on marketing. What you got to do is reel it in and figure out, where am I going to get the most ROI, which is return on my investment for this $1,000 I spent? Is it $1,000 that we just say we have extra money in the budget and we're just going to try it and see what happens? See what kind of placement is. See how long your competitors are there. Maybe your competitors are having banner ads in those same places. See if the return is really worth the time or the risk, or is it a waste of money? Are you wasting your time? Marketing, you never stop marketing. When the economy went down 2-3 years ago, I was reading an article that they were saying when the economy dipped, 35 or 40% of the businesses cut their marketing by 50%. What did I do? I increased mine by 40%. Because good, I hope my competition lowered theirs because I'm raising mine, so I'm front and center. When the economy's down, that's where you should really ramp it up. And a lot of people don't. They say, oh, times are tough, I got to pull back. No, that's where you got to pull out the resources and you're going to say, I want to make sure I'm front and center. Management. I think I covered this earlier, empowering your people to do their job. You know, we come up with all kinds of stuff. You know, if I get employees doing a great job, I offer all kinds of things. Hey, you know, listen, we want you to do this. I want to send you a paid expense. You've covered me. You came on Saturdays. You did this. I'm going to send you on a 3-day cruise to Mexico on my dime as a reward. I just want to give this to you to show you I care about you. Or sometimes I'll give out gift cards. You know, didn't have to take it in bonus on pay and have taxes. I'm just going to take it out of my pocket. I'm going to give you a gift card. Go spend it and buy whatever you want. You know, it's something over and above their paycheck. You're giving them something to say, hey, look, he cares about me. Deciding when to hire. Well, that depends on how much time you want to spend working versus non-working. I'm a person, I want to work as much as necessary, but I don't want to work too much. You have to decide, how much time am I spending? How much am I worth? How much is my time worth to sit here and spend hours upon hours? Or is it better to pay someone a reasonable rate and let them handle this stuff so I can focus on everything? If you're running day-to-day operations on a daily basis, you can't obviously be marketing your company. So therefore, that's where you get someone that can run your basic operations, you're up front on, answer the phone, doing some of the billing as you're growing. That way you can go out and market more. And as you get more accounts, I hire another person, and then it just keeps stepping up from there. You're going to have to decide when to hire. But remember what I tell you, you only get what you pay for. You know, and it's very hard in our industry, depending on what sector you are, if you hire someone that has any knowledge. Personally, I don't like, at our stage, to hire what we call greenhorns or newbies for particular things because it's so much time to train. I like to have someone that's pretty familiar with the industry, has been around for 2-3 years, have some core experience in the industry on how it works on a daily basis, how clients are perceived, how we want our clients to perceive us. And then I can say, okay, I can take this person and I can mold them the way I want them for my procedures so that we can continue on our path. You have to decide on that, which way is going to work best for you. Parting thoughts. Process server to manager. Since I am the second generation process server in my industry, I never started at the bottom where I was a mom and pop itself, where I was the process server on the street and then I built it up from there. I had a foundation already, so it's a little harder for me to really correlate this to a certain extent. I can discuss that I started as a court route person. I did a route on a daily basis, served business papers, day calls on the day, served papers at nights, and then finally got to a point that I learned enough knowledge, and then my father wanted me to get promoted and said, hey, you need to learn all aspects of the business. I became the process manager, knew process serving inside and out, and then before you know it, things start growing, things start changing, he stepped aside, I start making the move to making things change to the better for our company. Finding mentors. This is the most easiest thing you can do. I have mentors around me all the time. I have some that are gone, some that are present, some that I see, one that's in this room currently in the back of the room. I look up to him on several different cases on different things. I can call him anytime and say, hey, what do you think about this? Do you think this is a good idea? Or he'll share his thoughts. The person doesn't have to be old and the person doesn't be young. You could have a mentor that's 2 years younger than you and could be a mentor to you. He just has a different opinion than yours. As long as it's positive, it's good. So mentors are easy. I usually try to look in general, people that are usually older than me, they've already been around the rodeo, should we say. They've already been through the trials and tribulations. I might be coming to a crossroads and saying, listen, what would you do in this case? What is your thoughts? How did you handle this since I already know you've already crossed this bridge? And then they'll come up and they'll say, well, you could try this and this. And then I decide whether I want to put it in place or not. But mentors are a big thing. How and if you bring your children into the business. Currently, my oldest son, who's 20 years old, is working 1 day a week for my company and is a full-time college student at Cal State Northridge in Los Angeles. My goal is because I want to make sure he finishes college, I won't let him work for me full-time. You're going to finish college. College is the priority. You're going to take it in what we want to do. So he's taking in business marketing, which is what I'm big on for myself. So I said, as technology embraces, he's a big technology, electronics guru. I said, you can bring all kinds of drive to us going forward. So I said, this is what I want you to do. Make sure you get your classes in, get it done. He's a good student. And my goal is, luckily for him, he loves this business. So I have a thing going forward that I have someone that I know have a successor to my company eventually. They'll take over so that when I want to set myself up to, as I'm setting myself up to retire and step aside and not work as much, I have someone that can take the ball and run it forward. As many of our attorney service or legal support professions have multiple generations. And then a succession plan. I tell you right now, the best thing you do is start investing early. Invest in stuff not to depend on your business. I'm trying to set myself up, by the time I hit 60, I can walk away, business and all, and I can support myself at the rate that I'm living at right now. You need to take certain part of your thing and say, I'm going to invest in different investment opportunities, long-term investments. I'm going to set myself up so that I can live the lifestyle that I'm living now. Even if you don't choose to, you don't want to have to depend on the legal support company. And now if you decide to sell your company down the line, or you don't have children, or your children don't want the business going forward, sure, you can sell it. You know, you have a company you've built a base on, and you can let it go at that time and say, this is what I plan to do, I've had enough. But, you know, always have some kind of plan. What is the future? How long do you plan to be in this business? How long do you plan to keep working? How long do you plan to keep process serving on the day-to-day? We have some companies in my state that have been process servers for 45 years, and they're in their 70s now. And really, they should not be working anymore. They should be in an office, but they just keep working themselves to the ground. They're going to work to themselves to the day they leave this earth. But I am, for one, not planning to. My goal is to work as hard as I have to get to my goals, and then have a succession plan to leave the company eventually. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. I'll take any questions if you have any. This happens to be my daughter, and this is in my personal office. Nothing? Okay, thank you. I appreciate being here.